Hey guys, this is Niki Rowland for Shimmerz Paints, and today I'm making a layout for summer. We are using this exclusive cut file by Paige Evans that you will be able to get from joining the Shimmerz Shares Facebook group. So if you head over there and join the group, you'll be able to download that exclusive cut file by Paige Evans for free. That's coming out this coming weekend, which is Friday the 21st of June 2019. So if you are around and can join the group, then I say you'll be able to get that cut file there. Okay, so I'm using that cut file today and I am making a layout for summer, nice summer themed layout. So I'm using some bits from a previous Hip Kit Club kit back from March 2019, which had lots of Maggie Holmes sunny days in it. So I'm using that and some other bits and pieces. What I'm doing right now is I am creating a background. Now I'm planning to die cut all of these bits out from this background. That's why my background looks messy. I'm not going to create my layout on this sheet of 12 by 12. It's all going to be chopped up. So I'm using 4 colours of Creameez. And I'm basically colouring in each quarter of the page. So that's just a piece of white cardstock, marshmallow cardstock, in these 4 colours. And they are all Creameez, and they are called One Hot Mama, Boogie Boardin Blue, Just Peachy, and Refreshment. So I will list those below, but they're the 4 colours that I've used today. I picked those because I picked some supplies, and those colours were fairly prominent in those supplies. And they really do scream summer to me as well. I'll say what I'm doing, just creating a watercolour background using the packaging technique. I've already let my Creameez sit for a bit in some water, and now I'm picking it up, putting it on a piece of packaging, spreading it around, and putting it onto that background there. I'm smooshing it around with my finger, I'm smooshing it around with the paintbrush, and then I'm adding loads of flicks as well. Now the problem with adding flicks when the background is still wet is that when they add to the actual area that's wet, they kind of blend in, so you don't see them as much. Obviously you do see them around the edges, but you don't see them so well on the background. So that's why I'm coming back in now and adding some more flicks to certainly that Refreshment one. You can really see them now, whereas you couldn't before. I'm also adding some of the navy ones, the Boogie Boardin Blue as well. I'm just waiting for that to dry, and then I am cutting it in half and I'm running it through my Big Shot. Now I don't use my Big Shot that often. I quite often die cut things using the Silhouette these days, but I used it recently at a retreat and I really loved what I made, so that made me think I should use these more. So these are kind of concentric shapes. They're like Sizzix nestabilities or something, I think. So I have the scallop circle set, and I also have a set of circles that are scalloped but with holes. So they kind of reminded me of sunshine, so I thought I would cut out a variety of those in different sizes. So I've just literally gone through those 2 bits of cardstock. Well, actually it was 1 full sheet when I cut in half. It won't fit through my Big Shot if it's 12 by 12. So I had to cut it in half, so I had 2 6 by 12 pieces, and then I just ran it through my Big Shot using those dies. I placed the dies randomly. It didn't matter whether they were fully coloured on the areas or not. And then I just ended up with all these different circle shapes in different colours with the mixed media effect on the background. So I really loved this actually. When I'd cut them all out, I was like, this is awesome, you know, I should definitely do this technique more often. I don't have that many interesting shapes, so maybe I'll have to invest in some hearts and some other bits and pieces as well. Anyway, that's more shopping to do, right? Okay, so now I'm just going through and pulling out all the bits from the circles that have holes in. All the holes decided to stay inside the die cuts, which is slightly annoying. So what I probably should have done, I remembered that what I always used to do when I use these thin dies was to put an extra piece of cardstock on top of my cutting plates to make the pressure slightly harder. But I haven't used my Big Shot in so long that I've forgotten that that's what I normally do, and I'm paying the price now by having to pull out all of the holes from those little circles. So anyway, that's what I'm doing there. I'm just poking them through and pulling them out on the other side, so that I have a lovely set of circles and scallop circles with holes. Yeah, Fabulous. So now I can arrange them. So I'm just moving them into kind of colour groups. I want to layer them onto my layout in colour groups rather than as a total mixture. So I want all the refreshment ones together, all the peach ones together, all the Boogie Boardin blue ones together, and all the One Hot Mama ones together as well. So I'm just seeing where they'll all fit. I really didn't like the peach and the Boogie Boardin blue having mixed together, so I just hid that bit under the photo. But I really liked the ones that had kind of half in the colour and half white, that they were quite cool. So now I'm just going to use the cut file that is the exclusive cut file by Paige Evans that you'll get this weekend by joining the Facebook group. And I cut the whole thing out of a sheet of white cardstock, but I decided to chop it into pieces. So I just love all those icons on there, they're so awesome. But using it as a whole piece wasn't where I wanted to go with this layout today. I wanted to go with the different colours, circles, die cut circles. So I cut the icons out. So basically I just made sure that I cut out enough of the icon plus the next piece so that I could then trim around the design to make it look like it was it wasn't attached to that grid. So that's what I've done there. So I've just cut out a few of them. I've cut out the palm trees, the I thought it was a beach ball, but there is a beach ball on there, so I think it's actually a life ring, and the sunshine, the parasol, and the starfish as well. So I've just cut out all of those ones, and I'm layering them, tucking them in with the circles. I've also got a couple of Brabble Fox perspectives that I want to get used today. So that black one, I love a pop of black on a layout. I think it really adds drama to the layout. So that black compass and also the word Sunny Days title, which is very similar colour to the Boogie Boardin blue that I have got on my background at that point. I'm just now currently putting a background or border around the edge of my layout. So this is a sheet of Maggie Holmes Sunny Days, and you can see it's got some bits cut out of it. Basically I had cut something on my silhouette and it had slipped off the mat, so it really tore up the middle of the page. It's got like cuts all the way through it so I couldn't use it as a full sheet, and I really couldn't cut it up either, but the edge was still intact, so that was great. I managed to use it as a border around this layout without wasting it basically. So normally I would have cut the middle out and used that for something else, but I definitely couldn't do that on this occasion because it was all in shreds. This is what happens sometimes, isn't it? You know, hey ho, these things happen. So anyway, I love the border. I've distressed the edges with some scissors. I've distressed the edges of my white cardstock background as well, and now I'm just getting everything stuck in place. So I'm arranging and sticking all of those circles in place and getting all of those little die cut icons from the Paige Evans exclusive cut file also onto the layout as well, and I'm just arranging them and sticking them and playing around with them and making sure they're in the right places. Those icons are really skinny, so I would normally raise these things up on foam pads, but on this occasion I decided to stick them flat just with some wet PVA glue. They just, the fact that they're on white and they're on top of the coloured circles really makes them stand out and look quite cute, and I really love this effect actually. It's really lovely. That's what I'm doing there, is just distressing the edge of that white cardstock. Sorry, I've gone off camera a little bit, you can't really see what I'm doing, but that's definitely what I'm doing, and then just assembling everything in place basically. So that's my layout on my background sorted, and now I can add the rest of the embellishments and sequins and more paint splatters as well. So just going through, roughing up the edges a little bit, making sure that they all stand up. I like my layouts to have lots of dimension. Now I'm going to start with my photo stack. So I don't want to cover up too much of my background. I do that all the time, and I get really frustrated with myself when I do that. So I'm trying to keep my photo stack fairly small. I've gone for a black and white postcard style from the Maggie Holmes Sunny Days collection, and also a journaling card from a Hip Kit Club too. I'm cutting out some of these parasols from the Maggie Holmes Sunny Days collection as well. These colours go really well with the supplies, the mixed media that I've used today, and I'm just cutting those those out to add a bit of extra colour and layers to this layout. The parasols are a little bit fiddly to cut out, but I really like them when they are cut out properly rather than just cut as circles. So I'm snipping into the middle of each one just to make them a little bit more dimensional is probably the wrong word, more realistic perhaps. So I'm cutting out 3 of those. So I've got a green one, a pink one and an orange one, or a yellowish one, no I haven't, I've got a pink one, a green one and a blue one. I was going to cut out the yellow one, but it didn't quite fit. The colour wasn't quite a perfect match to the just peachy creamies, so I went for the other 3 colours instead. So I'm just layering those under my photo, tucking them in and getting those stuck in place. You can see that I kept my photo stack really quite small in the end, literally just those 2 pieces behind my photo. That's a little dots there that are a new product from Shimmerz. They're cute little like flare button type things, but without the metal, so no going rusty. So these are totally awesome and definitely the future of flare badges. And now I'm just going through and adding some bits from some embellishments from the Sunny Days collection. So I'm going for a tone on tone, so I'm adding green embellishments to green areas and blue embellishments to blue areas and yellow and orange embellishments to the orange peachy area and pink on the pink area. I'm also adding in some tangles of gold thread. I really love this gold metallic thread that I use. It's by We Are Memory Keepers, and it's a lovely thread. It really does as it's told, which is good because other thread doesn't. It holds its shape well. So I'm just tucking those in there and making sure that my ends are kind of tangling out. And then adding some other bits and pieces, so just trying to put in some embellishments here and there, all the things that are sunny. And this photo is taken on the seaside it's actually in one of the Canary Islands, Lanzarote, and it's a picture by the sea, and it's all the boys who we were with on that holiday. It's a nice picture, a nice sunny memory, and so this summer themed layout is perfect to document that. So I'm just adding in the last few bits of ephemera and stickers and puffy stickers, and I'm also going to we're now going through a different ephemera pack. So basically I had from this older Hip kit, it had Sunny Days, but it also had an exclusive pack of ephemera by Hip kit, and it also had some ephemera by Heidi Swap too. So I'm just going through and pulling out a few more bits and pieces to go on my layout from those packs too. And I really love those little enamel hearts there as well, and they're in all different colours, so I'm going to add those to the layout as well on the tone on tone fashion too. Just getting literally last few bits in now. So I've added some chipboard from Maggie Holmes Sunny Days, and I'm just, as I say, now adding those lovely little enamel hearts as well. So this layout is looking good. I'm happy with it. However, it doesn't look mixed media enough for me, because even though I use lots of mixed media on my die cuts, the layout itself doesn't really look mixed media like, because the edges of the circles are so perfect because they've been die cut. So I don't have any background shimmers coming out from underneath them, and I don't have any splatters, so I'm going to have to definitely have to add some extra splatters onto this layout to make it look like a mixed media layout. I'm really enjoying using mixed media stuff at the moment, yeah, I'm just loving it, loving playing with it. Sometimes it's a nemesis of mine, sometimes it just works, but most of the time I have to kind of work at it. But actually at the moment I'm just loving it, really enjoying it. So isn't that nice when that happens? So yeah, just getting that Bramble Fox perspective stuck down. It's an acrylic title, so they don't like to stick very well, so I normally use a whole load of glossy accents to stick them in place, and I just put my tape gun on top of it for a while to hold it in place. Right, here I go with the splatters. So My Creameez are still wet from where I used them earlier, so literally just picking up a small amount of each one and putting it onto a piece of packaging and adding a spray of water so that it's a more runny paint that I can then flick with a paintbrush. So yeah, literally use my paintbrush, pick up the colour using my paintbrush, add water if needed, and then I added splatters everywhere. I really kind of went crazy with the splatters. It really makes it, don't you think? You know, the way that it kind of sprays out from the middle of the design. So and the edges are just so much more soft now that it has all those splatters around the edges. Okay, so that is my splattering done, and I'm still not happy. I still feel that the edges need more. So I'm going through my sequin stash, which is vast, and pulling out different colours. They're all Spiegel Mum scrap sequins because they're the best ones in the world, and I'm just pulling through the right colours to the tone, you know, to work with the tone on tone effect. So I've pulled out quite a few sets actually. I end up using Peach Cobbler, which is what I've used on the Peachy area, of course. I also use Blue Bonkers on the blue area. Starry Dreams everywhere because it's just beautiful, on the pink bit mostly. Strawberry Tart and She Sells Seashells as well. So they are a whole bunch of sequin mixes that I've used on this layout. I just basically felt I need to pull through certain colours, and obviously sequin mixes have lots of different colours and they might not be quite the right colours in one set. You see what I mean? So I had to pull some peach ones from one set and some green ones from another set and some pink ones from another set rather than one whole set. I'm just sticking those down. I've sprinkled them on and I've just moved each one out of the way and applied a small amount of glossy accents under each sequin, and then put it back on in place. So I use my pokey tool for this, put a little bit of glossy accents on the end of my pokey tool, which means I can pick up the sequin, move it out of the way, apply glossy accents to the layer and put my sequin back in place. So that's how I do that. So yeah, just going through adding the last few bits. I needed some green, some minty green ones for the top there, and I managed to pull those out of a set called She Sells Seashells. Try saying that fast. That's what I've done there, and that is me done. I'm going to call it finished there. Okay, so that's me done. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed this layout and seeing how I put it together. Don't forget to join the Shimmerz Shares Facebook group this weekend to get hold of that free Paige Evans cut file, and also if you place an order via the Shimmerz store, put my name in the comments for a freebie. Happy scrapping!